Hi guys, welcome back to another video. First of all, I just want to start off by saying an absolutely huge thank you for the success of my latest video. It has gone around 3,000 views and about 150 likes, I think, give or take a few at this stage. And that's just crazy. It's definitely the most successful video on my channel so far. I'm also closing in on that 100 subscriber milestone, so if you're enjoying my content and haven't subscribed yet, it'd mean the absolute world if you did. Now, a quick disclaimer before I start this video. I just want to make it crystal clear that I'm absolutely in support of the SAG-AFTRA strike. These talented writers and actors 100% deserve a fair deal. After reading the information released by them as presented by fellow content creators such as the Rayside, I'm comfortable with creating this piece of content. However, I will continue to monitor the situation and adjust if needed, as well as including disclaimers such as these whilst the strike continues. Without further delay, let's get into the video. So guys, the official Ahsoka trailer was released recently, and it's got me more hyped for the series, if that was even possible. I'd love to go through it and break it down, give some of my thoughts and opinions on it, so that's exactly what I'm going to do. So as you can see from the back here, it's looking like a bit of an Imperial shuttle, and you can see that's a New Republic ship, obviously, I'm assuming.
War is inevitable. One must destroy in order to...
Now, those words are very Palpatine-like. They're very Palpatine-like, and I believe in the background here,
One must...
you can see some X-Wings, you can see an X-Wing or a lookalike X-Wing. I think, actually, there's a Lego set coming out that I posted the other day, and I believe they called it like an E-Wing or something along those lines.
destroy in order to create.
Yeah, there's the A-Wings there, sorry. I'll just backtrack. Yeah, there's the A-Wings there.
We are no Jedi.
Obviously, that is a very Sith-like thing to do just there, but I do not believe he's a Sith. I think he's, you know, somewhere in the middle. The blade him and Shin had to use are quite indicative of that. And I believe Dave Filoni sort of touched on that in, at Star Wars Celebration earlier this year. I just want to point out as well, I'm pretty sure, I'm very sure he's loyal to Thrawn. Him and Shin are working sort of for him, I'm almost thinking, as Thrawn is nearing his return. And, sorry, just to backtrack here, these scenes here, it looks like they're on a mission, obviously. They're there on this New Republic ship to get something. What that is, I am not sure. Could it be a key? Could it be part of a map I believe we're going to see soon? Or could it be Morgan Elsbeth herself? I'm not sure, but I believe it could be one of those three things.
I started hearing whispers.
These stone-like walls, they obviously give off a really ancient vibe, at least they do to me, and I'm assuming that would to the general public. So I'm guessing some of this story takes place. Are we looking back into the past? How far into the past are we looking? Could it go as far as, you know, telling the story of the Force or the Jedi? Something along those lines, perhaps?
Of Thrawn's return as heir to the Empire.
Do those words not just give you goosebumps, by the way? I don't know if they gave you guys goosebumps, but they gave me absolute goosebumps. Now, this ship as well. I wanted to point out this ship as well. It's very Clone Wars-like with an altered cockpit. Always looks like a Republic gunship cockpit a gunner would sit in, to be honest. So I'm almost wondering, just a bit of headcanon at the moment, could that possibly be the ship Baylan escaped Order 66 on, maybe? Obviously, we've heard it's a leak, but it's one I'm trusting, that it's, Baylan's an Order 66 survivor. Once again as well, this setting is, you know, very stone-like, so with that ancient theme, again, that's what I'm picking up on.
What happens when we find Thrawn?
Power, such as you've never dreamed.
So these stones here, they obviously either project or form part of a map. Is this to Thrawn? Possibly, not sure. But obviously they've been talking about Thrawn, what happens when we find Thrawn, then we see this. Could just be a bit of bait and, you know, could be something completely different, but it's wanting you to think in that direction at least, I believe.
Never dreamed.
Just quietly as well, I cannot wait to see Shin Hati. She looks like an absolute badass character, and I can't wait to learn a bit more of her backstory too.
I've spent most.
So there we see the New Republic. Sorry, just before we get to see Hera. This is a New Republic fleet, I'm assuming. I just want to point that out.
I've spent most of my life fighting a war.
Hera, obviously.
That's
Chopper.
why I'm
Now we
trying
get
to
to see Mon
convince you to
Mothma
help
here
me
as well.
prevent another one.
Ahsoka.
You and I both know who could help you with this.
Here we
She's
go.
still just as stubborn as
Now, this line here, she's still just as stubborn as ever. Is that not how Obi-Wan would have described Anakin? You know, when I think about Star Wars, I always like to think in George Lucas's vision as well. Like, that's part of my mindset. And this just screams that whole poetry, everything has to rhyme. Well, not has to, but he liked everything to rhyme like poetry, you know. And this just screams that to me. So, obviously, Filoni's written the 8 episodes, and I think he's going to carry on George's vision very, very well.
ever.
I bet your master found.
Now, this mask here, sorry, helmet. I should say mask. Helmet. Shout out to the Ray side. You'll see her Twitter pop up here. She made an awesome connection here that it looks like Ketsu Onu's a lot. It looks like Ketsu Uno's a lot. You can obviously see the similarities, especially around here. So, obviously they were friends at one stage and departed on respectable terms. So, possibly paying homage to her friend, not sure. But definitely a great spot there from the Ray side.
You difficult at times.
Anakin never got to finish my training. I walked away.
Anakin mentioned, number 1, walked away. Obviously, Ahsoka walked away after being falsely accused of terrorism. Gets the Jedi and the Republic when it was obviously Barriss that did it, and Anakin tracked her down and forced her to turn herself in. Anakin mentioned number 1. I just want to point that out because we will get a second Anakin mention, and I've done videos already on it. I've mentioned it countless times on here, on Twitter, on Instagram. We are getting him. Hayden Christensen is going to be in this. I refuse to be told otherwise. Everything is pointing towards it, and Dave would not let us down like this. I truly, truly believe that. So, Anakin's going to feature in some way, one or another.
Away from him, just like I walked away from Sabine.
You never.
So that line there, where Ahsoka says she walked away from Sabine, I'm assuming that means that, you know, it's implied that Ahsoka has trained her to some extent in the past. Now, whether complications arose from Sabine's side or Ahsoka's side, I'm not sure. Maybe it was a combination. But something happened there that has made Ahsoka walk away. And I'm sure we will dig into that a little bit.
Made things easy for me.
I know I'm touching on all these lines, but they are standing out to me in one way or another. This one here never made things easy for me. Perhaps I may be reaching here, and then when the series comes out, I'm absolutely nowhere near the ballpark. But these are just things I'm catching on to. Perhaps Ahsoka used some of Anakin's techniques in training on Sabine. You know, how Anakin really pushed her. We saw it in the Tales of the Jedi especially. Anakin really, really, really pushed her in that scene, which ended up saving her life in Order 66. Pushed her to the absolute limit. Got her phased by a bunch of times. Jesse got her, which was, once again, absolutely poetic. But perhaps she was a tough master. We don't know. Master there. So that confirms to me that Sabine has been taught by Ahsoka at some stage. At this stage, I don't think they'll make her force sensitive, but I'm going to touch on that a little bit later in the trailer as well. So perhaps the training was just in saber combat, but we'll come back to this in a bit.
As a Jedi, sometimes you have to make the decision no one else can.
So there, obviously, we see an old hologram of Ezra, and this is the first time we've heard him speak in any of the trailers. So obviously, one of the big questions is, where is Ezra? Is he still up in the unknown regions with Thrawn? But we've also seen Thrawn has returned, so where's Ezra at this time? Is he alive? Is he dead? Has Thrawn turned him evil, or has he stayed true to the light? Only time will tell.
But I'm counting on you to see this through.
Nice haircut. Sometimes.
So back there, sorry, I'll just scroll back a second. It looks like a shipyard where the battle's taking place here. On the left, just down here, it looks like there was a droid, some sort of guard droid. And the Inquisitor is on the right here. So this is an Inquisitor. We've seen we get this image of him, and then there's also a battle in what looks like a forest type of scene, I believe. That was where the first image of this Inquisitor was released from, a month or so ago now, I believe. And then I think later on in the trailer, we're going to see a scene of that battle in the forest. The character name is listed as Marok, and the stunt double is a male. Now, this could definitely just be to throw us off the trail of the character being Barriss under the helmet. A reported leak I've seen is there may be a Funko Pop of Barriss being released soon, which would point to this for sure. Now, I'm only taking this with a pinch of salt, as the rumor in relation to the Funko Pop has not gained a lot of traction, as I believe it came out around the end of March, this rumor. Has not gained a lot of traction, has not been reported on widely at all, but it's just something to keep an eye on. That's all I've got to say. It's just something to keep an eye on. It would certainly be very poetic.
Sometimes we have to do what's right, regardless of our
The Rebels mural here, obviously quite iconic. And for me, obviously, I'm a huge Clone Wars fan. This is quite reminiscent of the Mortis mural as well.
personal feelings.
I know the Mortis mural wasn't from Clone Wars, but obviously we see the Mortis arc in Clone Wars. So we've got to see it again here. Now, that whale we saw back here, where it looked like they were about to fly into its mouth, but here they're flying around it, is a Purga whale. So obviously Ezra developed a relationship with them and used this connection to get them to send the ship him and Thrawn occupied into hyperspace, which led them to the unknown regions. Perhaps Ahsoka is going to attempt to communicate with them?
If we don't stop Thrawn, everything.
So now this is the first look the general public has as at Lars Mikkelsen as Thrawn. He looks outstanding. Even the little details, like here you can see the V in his forehead. The details are outstanding. He looks awesome. I believe they got to see this at Star Wars Celebration. I believe I heard about it all on Twitter, but obviously there had been a couple like small leaks here and there. But this is the first time we get to see it in good quality, and he looks amazing. I cannot wait to see live action Thrawn. He is going to be awesome.
Thing will be in vain.
Now, I'm coming back to the Force sensitive stuff here with Sabine, because this scene right here has me insanely curious on it all. Obviously, she's on the ground in this forest type scene, which also looks very similar to the scene where we'll see Ahsoka battle this Marok Inquisitor. But her hand up here, obviously it could just be a defense technique. Like instinct, you're on the ground, someone's about to hit you, you just put your hand up kind of thing. But she's a warrior, so I don't think that'd be her absolute natural instinct. And it would not be very effective against a lightsaber. Now, would it? Like, I'm sure we all know what a lightsaber will do to a hand just stuck up like that. So this has me very, very curious. So perhaps they could bring in the possibility of her being Force sensitive. This scene just stuck out to me. I don't know if it did to many of you guys or not, but this scene just stuck out to me. And definitely leaves room for the potential for her to be Force sensitive.
You have no power.
Now, I also want to touch on their battle real quick. It looks like Sabine and Shin have a decently sized duel in this series. I've discussed previously as well on a video a couple videos ago about the Ahsoka, what we knew about the Ahsoka series so far. It looks like Shin's lightsaber could quite possibly be Kanan's. So, in this scene right here, we could be seeing Kanan and Ezra's lightsaber going against each other. Just food for thought. Just some food for thought.
Anakin's...
Now, sorry, I need to get back to that scene just there. Right up here. Am I reading into this too much? Or do they look like Purgles? I could be reading into it too much. But that's just something that I noticed.
Anakin spoke highly of you.
Anakin, reference number 2, and I need to just quickly, before I speak even more on it, I need to just quickly touch. I'm just going to let you guys listen. As he says, Anakin spoke very highly of you, and the little aftermath. Listen to the Dark Lord's breathing. You can hear it.
Of you.
Right there. If everything points, we're getting Hayden. We are getting Hayden. I swear we're getting Hayden. But food for thought on this one as well. Obviously, Vader's breathing could just be a fun Easter egg, or could it be a bit deeper than that and we might get a Vader flashback of sorts? Could that be a possibility? I'm absolutely convinced we'll get Hayden just going off script for a bit here. Not off script, but off topic a little bit. I'm absolutely convinced we're going to get Hayden in some form, whether that's Clone Wars flashbacks would be epic, live action Clone Wars armor would be absolutely insane, and we haven't seen anything of it, but it was rumored ages and ages ago that there was going to be, it was either rumored or confirmed, I can't remember just off the top of my head, but I did speak about it in my very first video on the channel. There is an actor cast for the younger role of Ahsoka. So just food for thought there. Clone Wars flashbacks could be a possibility. We're either going to get Anakin there, or maybe Force Ghost, which I think is probably the most likely, or we could somehow get Vader. That's all I'm going to say. Now, the second Anakin reference, obviously, Baylan mentions him. Anakin spoke very highly of Ahsoka. But what does this mean? Baylan had met Anakin in the Clone Wars. What sort of relationship did they have? Because, you know, I don't think Anakin would just... Obviously, it's not incredibly private information, but I just feel like you'd have to be on a certain level with him. Like, he wouldn't just say that to any random Jedi, I don't think. I just feel like you'd have to be on somewhat knowing each other terms with Anakin for him to, you know, bring that up, for that to come up in conversation. So either it's come up in conversation, they had some form of a relationship, or maybe it's just been mentioned in passing, he's heard it from a secondary source or something like that, I'm not sure. But there's something there. There's something there. Because obviously him and Anakin's... obviously Anakin and Ahsoka's bond was quite special.
I'm not here to discuss.
Now, I'm assuming this is the place we see at the start of the trailer. Now, the place is obviously getting blown up. Now, there's absolutely next to no chance of this being the case, but I just want to put it out there into the universe in case it does happen. We can come back to this video and say I called it. It's just something that popped into my head purely because of the George Lucas rhyming poetry thing. Now, what if... So, say the Inquisitor turns out to be Barriss. What if Barriss has blown this place up, knowing Ahsoka's here, right? Now, this could have something to do with the world between worlds, yada, yada, yada. Could be something to do with that, but what if Barriss has blown this place up? Because we remember what Barriss got done for, and it was blowing up a ship platform, I believe, at the Jedi Temple. That's what Barriss tried to frame Ahsoka for. So what if she's come back trying to blow Ahsoka up? I'm just putting that out there. George Lucas, it's like poetry, it rhymes. I just want to put it out there. Just theorizing off the top of my head. I just wanted to put it out there. That's all I've got to say. I'll let that just marinate in people's minds.
Past.
We have a lot.
And I don't... I think I'm reaching here. But just at the very end, it sounds like the Vader breathing. It wouldn't make any sense in this scene, I don't believe. But it just sounded a little... I'll just play again at the very end.
We have a
Sorry,
lot of work
I missed
to
it
do.
there.
We have a lot
I
of...
think it was more the music just toning down. But it's just something that popped into my head. Now, this is obviously Professor Huyang. We've seen him in the Clone Wars series. He had that little arc there, and he was the droid who would teach younglings how to construct their lightsaber. He's over 25,000 years old, and he's helped the likes of Yoda and Mace Windu when they assembled their lightsabers.
work to do.
Once a rebel, always a rebel.
So there's a few people on this planet by the looks of it. Because there's more Sabine here.
Rebel.
Fighting someone else. And then this is the other planet. This is the same planet, same scene, but Ahsoka's battling this Inquisitor that could possibly be Barriss. And that pose right there, is the Anakin pose from his duel with Count Dooku in Attack of the Clones. And the main promotional image that came out with this specific trailer is also another iconic Anakin pose that'll pop up. Star Wars Theory noticed it as well. And so it just confirms it. It confirms it. No way there is this many little teasers, this little many Easter eggs, all these sort of things. And we do not get the chosen one. We are getting him one way or another. I am absolutely sure of it. And yeah, 2-episode premiere August 23rd, which is a Wednesday, fitting in with all the other releases. I have no idea how long this went for. I don't care. I absolutely love talking about this stuff. This is the first time I went off script, and I don't think I did too badly. Definitely a lot of room for improvement, but it left a lot of room for me to just sort of speak off the top of my head. and let some ideas come to fruition. Anyway, enough of me rambling. Thank you so much for watching, guys. As you can probably tell, this series has me all kinds of hyped up, and I truly believe that it has the potential to put Disney Star Wars back on the map. Dave Filoni at the helm, writing all 8 episodes gives me a world of confidence, tied in with some absolutely amazing characters, and hopefully, I'm 100% sure it's confirmed, a bit of the chosen one. I'm just supremely confident. It has all this potential, so many good things going into it. I just can't see how it fails. Let me know what you guys noticed in the trailer as well. I might have missed some stuff, and what theories you guys have too. Obviously, I've got my own theories. I'd love to hear what you guys have. And yeah, definitely could be some stuff there I missed. Anyway, until next time, may the Force be with you. Always.